All right, so something that's widely but indirectly referenced in psychology is the topic of stupid people and stuff. So that's why I'm bringing it up here. I feel like it needs to be brought to the 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 viewing table and stuff because they are so prevalent in everything. I'm going to share with you some things I learned about stupid people. Okay. Um, So, if stupid people are not a disease in themselves, they are still dangerous, but often unwitting transporters of the condition of stupidity. In the US, the number and proportion of stupid people has become so high that we live in a composition between what it was like in the movie Idiocracy, Warhammer 40K, and 28 Weeks Later. That's what it's like for thousands of municipalities in the United States right now. It is clear from present circumstance across thousands of municipalities that this number and proportion were very high for many generations too. Most people have a foul, twisted psychology that is something like the cross between an animal and a small child and stuff. Um, and that's a reference to character just as much as it is that's referencing character as much as it is um, the less blaming, accusing things and stuff. Because I understand the harsh and judgmental nature of this video and stuff, but it's got to be talked about. Um, so, what are some traits of stupid people? Stupid people, foolish people, they close their senses, close their mind's eye, and reacts until relief comes at his core. The fool doesn't try to form bigger memories, and he can't shift attitude of memory and stuff. It doesn't take much to give them big, violent emotions, and they rarely control them. Yep. Stupid people never know where they are going with their own thoughts or actions. They often don't think before saying or doing things. Stupid people never see the delicacies, relevant knowledge, or hidden properties that, if damaged or left unchecked, can undermine or vastly suppress a good result in a situation. Their approach is usually physical, usually an overreaction. Stupid people often say or do undermining, destructive, or very late things in groups. So, okay? They don't understand the ball bearings of traction between the right result and what they are doing. Stupid people always think other people have the cognitive reserve to communicate with them and don't see their own duties, tasks, problems to solve, and responsibilities. They always need a distraction with a child's activity, like watching a kid's movie, to be entertained like a child. This is something they typically do and stuff because they're still in that maturity state, that stage of maturity, or should I say immaturity and stuff, that they constantly need, some kind of uh, feedback from other people and stuff because they don't know how to create energy for themselves and stuff. They just don't understand that other people have jobs, missions, duties, responsibilities, and stuff that they need to tend to, and not everything's always going to be about them. So in these areas, career, vocation, calling, and job duties, they you know they have no clue. They keep forgetting. Um, and when it comes to tasks, projects, problems to solve, again, they either have no clue or they keep forgetting and stuff. Memory permanence might be a lot less persistent and stuff, but memory formation at the point of comprehension, understanding, and like just doing it for that task or project is uh, far less common. So sometimes you find this stupid looking past it and stuff. Um, so yeah. Additionally, stupid people wait for other people to say things to get ideas. When other people say um, their ideas at that moment, it doesn't not take much to make them forget what is the right solution to do something. Stupid people have problems forming concepts in their mind, synthesizing information, or viewing the meaning of words in other ways. They have problems of applying knowledge to the real world and stuff. You can forget about asking them to do any amount of mental labor to study to understand a term or concept or idea or something. They cannot do it. They won't do it and stuff. Stupid people get lost, thrown off, or lose their composure when complications occur when they try to do things. Okay? Stupid people don't really have a concept of intelligence or value it. They think it's whatever they make up. That's because stupid people fall into cognitive dissonances and other refuse-like informational corruptions in the brain. Okay? There's many ways the brain distorts memories and understandings and stuff, and judgments, calculations and stuff that it does. many ways the brain gets solutions wrong and stuff, just out of a misunderstanding of the problem. There's many ways that has these interperceptual distortions, and things like cognitive dissonance and fallacious lines of reasoning. I guess when it comes to like more abstract reasoning, like thinking about figures and stuff, not necessarily like thinking about analysis and logic and stuff, because analysis and logic still needs a matter of reference, even if it's not visual. So yeah, that's that thing about stupid people. Stupid people often have disorganized, lacking, scattered, etc. internal mental constructions. When a person cannot show these concepts visually, it shows in how they address problems and solutions to their behavior. In contrast, a person who is very smart can find at least one way to show the details of an abstract concept, problem, solution, etc. that are plain. A person who is very smart can do everything inside of their brain, and a stupid person mostly just forces the issue. Okay. So, and all these traits can be seen like either at work or out of work and stuff. But yeah, this is some things about stupid people and stuff. Are stupid people necessarily bad? No. But they have a certain environment where they thrive the most. Environments that can kind of contain them. They don't get a whole lot of freedom, because once they leave their zone of freedom and stuff, there's no telling what they can do, what amount of damage they can do. And they can't tell you either, because they don't know. Yeah. I was talking about this because I feel like this topic gets politicized a lot, or tied into like religion or commercial stuff and stuff. I wanted to talk from like a more pragmatic, scientific standpoint and stuff. So that's some of what I learned and stuff. But I learned a wealth about stupid people. Now, some closing words. Things like ethnicity, gender, religion are not reliable predictors of stupidity, even when combined. And things like that. I think it's part of the basis of why we have personal discrimination laws in the United States that stretch into the workplace and whatnot. I think the people who wrote those laws really did cover a lot of the surface and internals in the matter of reference, which I think is remarkable, impeccable. Good stuff there. Now there's this belief that that stupid people believe in stupid things, or smart people believe in stupid things and stuff. We have to understand that when people tell us things and stuff, there's a certain frame and attitude or respective process that they're in and stuff, which might elucidate as to what they really mean when they say something. Because people don't necessarily say the image or figure concept in their minds. Yeah. So you got to keep that in mind too. So a lot of the time, the people that we think are stupid are not stupid and stuff. It's just there's something going on with their cognitive reserve and how their brain is using that reserve, and how their brain is functioning in that moment and stuff in response to or under influence of something going on in the past, present, and future, or something they're thinking about. Yeah. So there's that, which kind of touches on this part stuff. So like where I wrote here, how stupid people always think other people have the cognitive reserve to communicate with them. I mean, I feel like this is touching on that. This slide here is touching on that and stuff. And a good example of this is The Idiot by Dostoevsky and stuff. In the story, the prince Mushkin, I believe it is, and stuff. He just thinks, everybody can work for him and stuff, or situations can work for him and stuff. He's not solving his own problems. He's just kind of talking about simple things. And he spent 4 years in medical care for his seizure and stuff, but um in that 4 years, he might have not learned anything at all, unfortunately. um and he certainly didn't learn about traction with people and how to survive in the world and stuff, because uh you know for his words and deeds and stuff, and the reactions that created and stuff, somebody tries to murder him. But at the same time, intuitively, he um he trades crosses with that person, like the cross necklaces, as like a sign of friendship or brotherhood and stuff, which is probably something that wasn't understood by his company and stuff. um if for what it was. And uh so it, like, that is so that's like an example of like how idiots undermine themselves. So there's that. um yeah, and that's that lesson.